Did Phil explain why he's speaking out now?
He said he's speaking out because he believes Diddy's a predator. He wants accountability, and he doesn't want someone like this to run unchecked in the future.
So apparently Diddy's knee has been bothering him recently, so he reported it. At some point, it was decided that he needed medical care outside of the jail, so he was taken to a...
Oh my goodness! The story of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's final days has become the most captivating mystery everyone's talking about. Fans and investigators are desperate for answers. How could two beloved figures known for their quiet lives meet such a mysterious end in their secluded Santa Fe home? The details from the investigation are as puzzling as they are heartbreaking. And now there are whispers of new evidence that could lead to one of the most sensational revelations in Hollywood history.
Diddy's mom has finally spoken out amidst everything that is happening right now. Janice Small Combs provided a statement to some outlets via her attorney. So she starts off by saying it's very heartbreaking to see her son judged not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies.
It all began with maintenance workers Jesse Kessler and Roland Lowe Bay making a routine visit to the Hackman residence. What they found was absolutely shocking. The door to their estate was ajar, and inside, poor Hackman's lifeless body was sprawled in a mudroom near his cane. Betsy was discovered in the bathroom with a space heater eerily close to her head and pills scattered everywhere. Even one of their German shepherds had died, found in a closet nearby. Two other dogs survived, one roaming outside and another near Betsy. For such a meticulous couple, the chaotic scene raised immediate red flags.
Just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that.
At first, everyone assumed natural causes. Hackman was 95 after all, but when investigators pieced together the timeline, things got complicated. Hackman's pacemaker recorded its last activity on February 17th, 9 days before they were found. This sparked endless theories. Was it simply heart failure or something sinister? Betsy's body showed signs of mummification, suggesting she'd been deceased for some time too. But why was she found separate from her husband? And what's with that space heater placement? I'm getting chills.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
Authorities ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning after tests by fire personnel, and gas companies found no leaks. That's when rumors started swirling. What if this wasn't just a tragic coincidence? What if someone else was involved? Sources close to law enforcement hint that new evidence points to foul play. Those scattered pills initially dismissed as accidental, they're now under scrutiny. Were they staged? Some believe the prescription bottle was tampered with to create a misleading narrative. Others question the space heater's proximity to Betsy's body. Was it used to accelerate decomposition and confuse timelines? These questions have even seasoned detectives completely baffled.
This is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now, I think it really underscores the magnitude of what he's facing and the weight of the federal government.
The most tantalizing development has been the rumored arrest of suspects. Though officials haven't confirmed this, leaks suggest people with potential motives, robbery, personal vendettas, or worse, are being questioned. One theory gaining traction is that the couple's secluded lifestyle made them vulnerable targets. Despite being reclusive, Hackman and Betsy interacted with select community members, neighbors, contractors. Could someone in their inner circle have betrayed them? Or was this outsiders exploiting their isolation? These possibilities cast a dark shadow over what was once their peaceful retreat.
It sounded crazy, like I said before. They said that 2,300 people reached out to the law firm, and out of the 2,300 people, I guess they decided to go with just a little over 100, which seems like it's they just put out the number and everybody's calling to see if they can get a check.
It's insane. It's insane. Now, again, he did say that nothing has been filed yet because he says he wants to make sure that they do their due diligence and get this right.
Adding to the intrigue are items found in their home: 2 cell phones, an orange prescription bottle, and a 2025 monthly planner. The phones could reveal their last communications and location data showing unusual activity before their deaths. Did the planner contain appointments or notes hinting at someone they expected or feared? Forensic experts have their theories. One pathologist suggested Hackman's heart condition triggered a chain of events. If his pacemaker recorded an arrhythmia on February 17th, did Betsy panic trying to save him only to meet her own fate? But this doesn't explain the scattered pills, dead dog, or unsecured entrance.
This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly.
The possibility of staged elements makes everything more suspicious. Betsy's mummified hands and feet, while consistent with space heater effects, could suggest an attempt to obscure her time of death. Those scattered pills might have been placed deliberately to suggest an accidental overdose. If true, these details point to a calculated effort to mislead investigators, raising the stakes of this already baffling case.
We are not done, and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
Even more bizarre are whispers about missing items from their home. If true, this suggests theft as a motive, yet there were no signs of forced entry. Did they let in someone they trusted? Or were they caught off guard by someone who bypassed their security? As days turn to weeks, anticipation builds for the official police report. Insiders tease that findings could be explosive, answering pressing questions while raising new ones. Will it confirm foul play or suggest a tragic series of accidents? And if suspects have been apprehended, what will their connection to the couple reveal about the hidden dynamics of their lives?
With all the money he has and all the resources he has, they couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. And again, it sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him is expensive to all of us. We're taxpayers, and he's got to have unique situations. You can't put him in general population where, everyone wants a piece of him and everyone wants to be his friend and everyone.
For now, the mystery remains painfully unresolved. The world waits breathlessly as investigators connect the dots, sifting through every clue. Gene Hackman, who spent decades captivating audiences with complex characters, now looms larger than life and death. His passing, shrouded in mystery, feels like the final act of a drama no one saw coming. And as more details emerge, the truth promises to be as compelling and layered as any role Hackman ever played.
Well, Sierra, anything's possible, right? But now this judge has an even harder time, I think, because the past judge locked him up, didn't let him out, and he's still there available for trial. If the new judge lets him out on bond and something goes wrong, and this isn't the analysis that I'm proud to make, right? We shouldn't be saying, well, judges are worried about their own skin and how they look if something bad happens.
Gene Hackman's life story is what Hollywood legends are made of. A man who had it all, fame, fortune, talent, yet chose to walk away from the spotlight for a quieter life. With his mysterious passing, people are reflecting not just on the tragedy, but on his incredible legacy. Hackman wasn't just any actor. He was a force of nature who commanded attention with just a glance or his signature fiery outbursts. Yet behind that powerful presence was a man valuing humility and authenticity above all. The world has lost an icon, but how do you measure the impact of such an extraordinary life?
By everything. They're going to try to transfer him. They're going to try to get him out. In a normal case where it's a high-profile person or a well-funded person, the prosecution and the judge is a little bit more concerned about wrongful prosecution because people that are mad that they're being arrested for a crime they didn't commit can turn around and file for malicious prosecution.
Hackman's career spanned decades, bringing depth to every role. Tough detectives, villains, lovable eccentrics. How many performers can claim 2 Academy Awards? One for Popeye Doyle in The French Connection, and another for the corrupt sheriff in Unforgiven. Don't forget nominations for Mississippi Burning and I Never Sang for My Father. These weren't just characters, they were people you believed in. Hackman made you feel you were watching a real person, flaws and all, not just an actor playing a part.
Every jail is bad, and some jails are worse than others. And the problem, again, is if you move him, why is he getting special treatment? And maybe he's earned special treatment. Maybe what he's done, maybe he's given so much back to his fans and to the world and to charity that maybe there's a way that it plays out in the end. But again, to go into court and say this jail is bad, move him to another jail, is not your first argument. That's sort of the...
His versatility was unmatched. He could make you laugh as easily as squirm. Remember Lex Luthor in Superman? He gave a comic book villain wit, charm, and menace. And in The Royal Tenenbaums, his flawed but endearing patriarch became the heart of the film. No wonder co-stars called working with him both a privilege and masterclass in acting.
Every jail is bad, and some jails are worse than others. And the problem, again, is if you move him, Why is he getting special treatment? And maybe he's earned special treatment. Maybe what he's done, maybe he's given so much back to his fans and to the world and to charity that maybe there's a way that it plays out in the end. But again, to go into court and say this jail is bad, move him to another jail, is not your first argument. That's sort of the...
Most impressive was how Hackman stayed grounded despite success. In an industry of glitz, Hackman cared about craft, not fame. When he stepped away from acting after Welcome to Mooseport in 2004, he did so without fanfare. He once said, "I didn't want to go out on a sour note. The business is stressful, and I felt I had nothing left to prove." His retirement to Santa Fe with Betsy speaks volumes about who he was. Santa Fe wasn't just an escape, it was a community they embraced. They supported local businesses, charities, and arts quietly, without seeking recognition. Locals described them as kind, generous, and deeply connected to each other. Those who met them were surprised by their humility, especially given Hackman's fame. Local restaurant co-owner Joe Lanham shared how Hackman, after losing a golf bet, repaid her with a wheelbarrow of pennies delivered to their restaurant with a note signed Captain Hollywood. These moments revealed his down-to-earth nature. He didn't want celebrity treatment. He wanted to be a neighbor and friend who contributed to the community quietly. Even his artistic pursuits reflected his humility. After retiring, he painted works that now hang in local businesses, including the restaurant he co-founded. Remarkably, none are signed. Friends say this was intentional, letting the art speak for itself rather than drawing attention to his name. "That was Jean," said a friend. "He didn't need the spotlight. He wanted to create and give back without fuss." His generosity extended beyond art. He and Betsy were silent benefactors for local causes, from education to animal shelters. He once helped a struggling local business, insisting his involvement remain anonymous. "He didn't want recognition," said a community member. "He just wanted to help." That's who he was, someone who made a difference without hesitation. Even in retirement, Hackman couldn't escape attention. Locals saw him biking through neighborhoods or chatting at community events. But as years passed, he became more private, especially during the health crisis. Friends noticed the couple limiting outings, with Betsy protecting her husband's health. It's heartbreaking to think they felt isolated in their final years, even in the town they loved so much. The grief following their passing has been overwhelming. Social media flooded with tributes, sharing favorite performances and personal stories. Hollywood took notice too. Clint Eastwood called him a giant, saying, "There will never be another like him." Morgan Freeman's Oscar tribute called Hackman a man whose gifts elevated everyone's work. Perhaps most touching was from Stuart Ashman, Hackman's Santa Fe friend, who recalled how Hackman traded a painting for dozen eggs. "That was Gene," Ashman said. "He didn't see himself as a big star, just a guy who loved life and people around him." Despite all the praise, Hackman's passing has left an undeniable void, not just in Hollywood but in hearts everywhere. The mystery surrounding his final days adds to our sense of loss. How could someone so vibrant be gone under such strange circumstances? What does this mean for his legacy? As investigators piece together what happened, one thing's certain: the world will never forget Gene Hackman and the mark he made on film, art, and lives lucky enough to know him. As we reflect on his life, we can't help wondering, what made Hackman so magnetic? Was it raw talent, dedication, or something indefinable that's felt in every performance? Whatever it was, Hackman was more than an actor. He was a storyteller, craftsman, and man who lived life on his own terms. While the mystery of his final days may never be fully resolved, his legacy will inspire generations. The enigma of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's deaths leaves us with more questions than answers. As we await revelations, we wonder, was there foul play or just a tragic accident? And if suspects are being questioned, who would harm such a beloved couple? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's honor Hackman's legacy while seeking truth in this perplexing case. Thanks for joining us, and stay tuned.